What if the real difference between ordinary people and world leaders is not intelligence, not luck, not opportunity, but biology? What if the way leaders breathe, walk, think under pressure, and control emotion is physically different from everyone else? History shows that the greatest leaders did not just train their minds, they trained their nervous system, their habits, and even their physical responses to fear. Today you will discover the hidden physiology that turns humans into leaders and how you can rewire your own body to think, act, and win like them. Every world leader you admire shares one invisible trait. They mastered their physiology before they mastered the world. Leadership does not begin with speeches, power, or followers. It begins inside the body. Long before decisions shake nations, chemical reactions shape decisions. When pressure rises, most people experience stress. Their heart rate spikes, breathing becomes shallow, muscles tighten, and the brain shifts into survival mode. This is the biology of fear. But world leaders learn to reverse this reaction. Instead of panic, their bodies move into controlled focus. Think about moments that changed history. Crisis, war, economic collapse, or social revolution. Leaders stood in rooms where one decision meant success or disaster, yet they remained calm. This calm was not personality, it was trained physiology. Your brain has two major systems fighting for control every day. The reactive brain, driven by fear and emotion, and the executive brain, responsible for logic, strategy, and vision. Average people allow stress hormones to dominate. Leaders train their bodies so clarity overrides chaos. Studies of elite decision-makers show something fascinating. During high-pressure situations, their breathing slows instead of accelerating. This signals safety to the brain, allowing rational thinking to stay active. While others freeze, leaders calculate. This is why leadership begins with physical control. Before confidence becomes visible, it becomes biological. Posture, breathing, and movement send signals directly to the brain. Stand upright and testosterone rises slightly, while cortisol decreases. Your body literally changes your mental state. World leaders understand energy management more than time management. They know fatigue destroys judgment. Sleep, discipline, nutrition, and physical endurance are not lifestyle choices, they are leadership tools. A tired brain chooses short-term comfort. A trained body sustains long-term vision. Consider how leaders walk into rooms. They move slowly, intentionally. Their nervous system communicates certainty before they speak. Humans subconsciously read body signals within milliseconds. Authority is often felt before words are heard. Emotional regulation is another physiological advantage. Leaders experience fear, doubt, and uncertainty like everyone else. The difference is recovery speed. Instead of staying trapped in stress, they return to equilibrium quickly. Their nervous systems reset faster, allowing continuous performance. Neuroscience calls this resilience, the ability to return to baseline after stress. Great leaders develop this through repeated exposure to discomfort. They do not avoid pressure. They condition their bodies to operate inside it. Think about decision fatigue. Every choice consumes mental energy. Ordinary people exhaust themselves on small decisions, leaving little capacity for important ones. Leaders simplify routines. They reduce unnecessary choices, protecting cognitive energy for critical moments. This is why many powerful figures follow strict daily rituals, not because they lack creativity, but because consistency stabilizes brain chemistry. Predictable habits reduce anxiety, freeing mental resources for innovation. Another hidden trait of leadership physiology is controlled attention. The modern world constantly fights for your focus. Notifications, noise, and distraction fragment the brain. Leaders train deep focus states where time slows and clarity increases. In this state, the brain releases neurotransmitters that enhance learning, memory, and strategic thinking. Confidence itself is not merely psychological, it is chemical. Dopamine reinforces progress. Serotonin stabilizes mood. Endorphins reduce stress. Leaders intentionally create environments and routines that regulate these chemicals through achievement, movement, and purpose-driven action. Even voice tone reflects physiology. Strong leaders speak from controlled breathing patterns, producing steady vocal resonance. This signals certainty to listeners and increases persuasion power. Without realizing it, audiences trust voices that sound biologically calm. Fear response is perhaps the greatest separator between leaders and followers. When uncertainty appears, most people wait for reassurance. Leaders act despite incomplete information. Their physiology tolerates ambiguity, allowing movement while others hesitate. History repeatedly proves this pattern. The leaders who shaped nations were not fearless. They were physiologically trained to function alongside fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is nervous system controlled during fear. So how does someone develop leadership physiology? The process begins with awareness. Your body is constantly influencing your decisions. Every posture, every breath, every habit programs your brain, either toward confidence or hesitation. Start with breathing. Slow, controlled breathing signals safety to your nervous system, lowering stress hormones. Next, control posture. Stand and move with intention even when alone. Your brain does not know the difference between practice and performance. Introduce controlled discomfort. Cold exposure, intense exercise, difficult conversations, and disciplined routines teach your nervous system adaptability. Each challenge expands your stress tolerance. Protect sleep like a strategic asset because cognitive clarity depends on neural recovery. Feed your body for energy stability, not temporary pleasure. Stable blood sugar equals stable decision-making. Train focus daily. Even 10 minutes of uninterrupted concentration strengthens neural pathways associated with leadership. Leadership level thinking. Over time, distraction loses power. Most importantly, align physiology with purpose. Leaders possess a strong internal mission. Purpose activates motivation circuits in the brain, making endurance possible during hardship. Without meaning, fatigue wins. With meaning, resilience grows. The truth is, leadership is not reserved for presidents, CEOs, or historical icons. Leadership begins the moment you gain command over your internal state. When your body obeys your intention instead of your emotions, you become dangerous to mediocrity. Imagine entering challenges with calm breathing, steady posture, clear thinking, and controlled emotion. Opportunities would look different. Fear would shrink, decisions would sharpen, people would feel your presence before your words. This transformation is available to anyone willing to train, not just the mind, but the biology behind the mind. The world does not follow titles. It follows certainty, energy, and emotional stability signals produced by physiology. The leaders who changed history were not superhuman. They simply understood a secret most people ignore. The body leads the mind, and the mind leads the world. So the question is not whether you can become a leader. The real question is whether you are ready to train your physiology to match your ambition. Because once your biology aligns with your vision, your actions become consistent, your confidence becomes natural, and your influence becomes inevitable. Master your physiology, and leadership stops being a dream.